السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته.
الله أكبر الله أكبر الله أكبر الله أكبر. أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله. أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله. أشهد أن محمدا رسول الله. أشهد أن محمدا رسول الله. حي على الصلاة. حي على الصلاة. حي على الفلاح. حي على الفلاح. الله أكبر الله أكبر. لا إله إلا الله.
إن الحمد لله نحمده ونستعينه ونستغفره ونعوذ بالله من شرور أنفسنا ومن سيئات أعمالنا. من يهده الله فلا مضل له ومن يضلل فلا هادي له. وأشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له وأشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله. يا أيها الذين آمنوا اتقوا الله حق تقاته ولا تموتن إلا وأنتم مسلمون. يا أيها الناس اتقوا ربكم الذي خلقكم من نفس واحدة وخلق منها زوجها وبث منهما رجالا كثيرا ونساء واتقوا الله الذي تساءلون به والأرحام إن الله كان عليكم رقيبا. يا أيها الذين آمنوا اتقوا الله وقولوا قولا سديدا يصلح لكم أعمالكم ويغفر لكم ذنوبكم ومن يطع الله ورسوله فقد فاز فوزا عظيما. أما بعد فإن أصدق الحديث كتاب الله وخير الهدى هدى محمد بن عبد الله صلى الله عليه وسلم وشر الأمور محدثاتها وكل محدثة بدعة وكل بدعة ضلالة وكل ضلالة في النار. Alhamdulillah, we praise Allah, we seek His aid and we seek His forgiveness. We seek refuge in Allah from the evil of ourselves and the evil of our deeds. Whomsoever Allah guides, none can misguide. And whomsoever Allah allows to be led astray, none can guide aright. And I bear witness that there is no one worthy of worship except Allah the Exalted, and that Muhammad, peace and blessings be upon him, is his last messenger and servant. As to what follows, indeed the best speech is the book of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the Quran, and the best guidance is that of Muhammad, peace and blessings be upon him. And of the worst affairs in our doctrinal system of Islam are the newly invented ones. For every newly invented affair in this situation is an innovation, and for every innovation is a form of going astray, and for every form of going astray is in the fire of hell. Numerous times when I talk to people, particularly the youth, the young men and women, ranging from the ages of 16 to around 35, a lot of times I get this response: I don't think I can accept that. I don't know if that's something that sits well with me. When it's a response to something that we know, even that individual that is asking may know that it is an Islamic characteristic or an Islamic precept or something that the Muslim should try their best to implement or to stay away from. It is the self, the individual, not being content with a ruling in the Sharia. Rather, I would like to say a guideline for guidance which has a maqsad shar'i, which has an Islamic objective behind it, a godly objective, a universal objective, an objective that is better for you if you but knew. the question is that feeling of lack of contentment in the beginning of hearing a ruling in Islam, something about God, something about the Prophet Muhammad, peace and blessings be upon him, is that wrong to have that lack of contentment in the beginning? No. That may happen to some of us. The fact that it takes place means that we're human. And inshallah, it means that we're sincere, that we came and asked the question. Because let's be honest, how many of us know or have been the individual that has not asked about something that is itching in our hearts to whether God wants me to do it or stay away from it or not? We just go and live our lives. And whatever comes with it, comes with. And I'll just do as I please. But being concerned to even ask the question, parents, we should thank Allah for that. You thank Allah that He has put it in your heart to make that decision to ask the question and to have the courage and the strength and a little bit or a lot of honor in who you are as a Muslim. This is very important. Because we see when Ibrahim wanted to see Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, Ibrahim, what was his response? When he was asked, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, "Lan tarani," he said, "You will not see me." And then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, when he responded, he asked him the rhetorical question. When Ibrahim alayhi salam made that request, قَالَ أَوَلَمْ تُؤْمِنْ, do you not believe? قَالَ بَلَى وَلَكِنْ لِيَطْمَئِنَّ قَلْبِي. Of course I will believe, Ya Allah, but for my heart to find contentment. So this is a human phenomenon, characteristic. What's most important is what are you actively doing to learn more about God? Many times when we come to Jummah, because we want to hear about particular contemporary issues, which it has its place. But ultimately, initially, it's important for all of us to remember the basics of Islam. Who is God? Who He is not. And what is the implementation or actualization or what God does in our lives in regards to that? And what should our response be in regards to that? When we see this beautiful month of Rajab, this beautiful month of Rajab that we are in, this is the month of Rajab that we see are from the 4 sacred months. As the scholars mentioned, ثَلَاثَةٌ سَرْد وَوَاحِدَ فَرْد. That there are 3 that are sard, that they are consecutive. 3 that are consecutive. Dhul Qi'dah, Dhul Hijjah, wa Muharram. And we see one that is fard, and that is Rajab, the month we are in now, the 7th month of the Islamic calendar. The 8th month is Sha'ban. The 9th month is Ramadan. So this beautiful month of Rajab was a holy month. As Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala speaks about it in the Quran. When He says, after أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم, إن عدة الشهور عند الله 12 شهرا في كتاب الله يوم خلق السماوات والأرض منها 4 حرم. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, Allah says, verily the months are numbered with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in the book of Allah, 12 شهرا في كتاب الله, in the book of Allah, يوم خلق السماوات والأرض, the day that He created the heavens and the earth. منها 4 حرم, that there are 4 that are impermissible. So we're going to take a journey in this verse, and a reflexive journey, to look at ourselves in regard to Islam, in regard to our practice, and in regards to our honor. When Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentions that these are the 4 sacred months, as we mentioned, Dhul Qi'dah, Dhul Hijjah, Muharram, and Rajab, the month that we are in. The Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa sallam mentioned in a beautiful hadith, practically one of the 2 hadiths that are regarding Rajab, that Rajab is mentioned and that is authenticated. When he talks about Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, when He created the heavens and the earth and brought them back to its original state, for lack of better words of the message of the Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, when he gives an explanation of this verse, and he says that this is the month Rajab Mudar. He says Mudar, M-U-D-A-R. Now Mudar was the name of the tribe of the Arabs during the time of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and even before that, because these 4 sacred months were before the advent of Islam even. These were 4 holy months. that one should not perform sins in them. As is mentioned in the verse, فَلَا تَظْلِمُوا فِيهِنَّ أَنفُسَكُمْ. Do not oppress yourselves in them. So this tribe, Mudar, what they would do, يُعَظِّمُونَ الشَّهْرَ. They would magnify this month and do good deeds in this month. Because it's one of the four. As the majority of the Arabs during that time, or if it was a group of Arabs that had problems, they had issues with another tribe, these months you cannot fight. You put your swords down because it's a holy month. It's a month that Allah has chosen to be sacred. But what would some of them do? They would do nasi. They would delay this month and change the month after Shawwal, for example, or later in the year, because they wanted to fulfill their desires of honor, of shuja', of bravery, of fighting. And that's why within this chapter, this verse that was mentioned, is from the 9th chapter, verse number 36 in the chapter of Tawbah. The next verse, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, إِنَّمَا النَّسِيءُ زِيَادَةٌ فِي الْكُفْرِ. That verily postponing these months is an increase of disbelief. But what is the underlying look behind this, or from the underlying factors that we should consider? Do not allow your desires to override the desire of Allah, i.e., the religion of Islam, the Sharia. Allah knows that we have desires. Allah knows that we want to maintain our honor, our bravery. But if that, as a result of that, we have to belittle someone else, we have to be stereotypical, we have to be racist, we have to belittle another creation of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, you have a choice to make. So when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala magnifies this beautiful month, we say, as the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, as he mentioned, this is the month Mudar, and he even mentioned them by tribe to show the greatness of these people, because they magnified, glorified what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has glorified. So now, ask yourself the question, do we glorify what Allah has glorified? Do we make great in our lives what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has made great? Because verily that is from the piety of the heart. As Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala talks about in the chapter of Hajj, when he says, after أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم, ذلك ومن يعظم شعائر الله فإنها من تقوى القلوب. And verily that, for the one that magnifies, يعظم من تعظيم. One of the names of Allah is Al-Azim. The one that makes ta'zim, that magnifies the deen of Allah in their life, for verily this is piety of the heart. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala make our hearts pious in this month of Ramadan and all the month of Rajab and all of the following months to come. أقول قولي هذا واستغفر الله لي ولكم ولسائر المسلمين فاستغفروه إنه هو الغفور الرحيم. الحمد لله على إحسانه والشكر له على توفيقه وامتنانه. As we see, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has control over all affairs. Some of us on our way here, we slipped in our vehicles. Maybe yesterday. Immediately, you realize you have no ultimate control. But there are times in our life where we think we actually do have control, ultimate control. And Satan can play with us to where when we have control over something, as though we have ultimate control over that thing in totality. But when you stop and take a look at yourself, you realize you have no ultimate control over yourself. With that knowledge, that experience or experiences that you have had with yourself, realizing that Allah is in ultimate control over all things, what is your response in regards to that? The ultimate response is for someone to embrace Islam, for someone to become a Muslim, because they acknowledge that Allah is the ultimate controller over everything. Al-Khaliq, He is the creator. Al-Raziq, He is the provider. And Mudabbir, He is the one that controls all affairs ultimately. When we have that knowledge and understand that God is control of everything, one may become a Muslim. Or one may be a Muslim, but was never content. And they made that choice to submit. They made that choice to have what is called Islam, to voluntarily submit their will and themselves to the will of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. With the reality, young men and women, brothers and sisters, that there will be things you may not understand in the deen of Islam. I guarantee you, there will be things that you may not understand. There will be things that may not sit well with you. But this is the test of your submission, of your obedience. Because you have a choice in life. As each and every one of us, every day we have choices. And those choices can determine where we go. Those choices can determine our behaviors, our perceptions of things. This is why ta'aleem of the Sharia, making Allah great in what He has legislated in your life, is so important to be in the minds and hearts of a Muslim. Because when those hard times come, what is your anchor? When those hard times come, what is going to be your base? When your parents go through a nasty divorce, and you are a young man or woman that is in the middle, and you're the product of those arguments, of that yelling and screaming, what is your anchor? When you lose a loved one that raised you, and they died, in which your mind you feel unjustly, or a younger individual that has not even reached the age of puberty yet, to where they're held accountable, what is your anchor? When you lose something valuable to you, that you have worked so hard for, and you were denied that which you have worked so hard for, what is your anchor? Who is your anchor? Who will you turn to? Brothers and sisters, if we have not made the effort to just learn more about Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, to learn more about God, what do you expect when the hardships come? When we learn more about Him, that is when our integrity of being a Muslim, our integrity of understanding Islam, the opportunities, the opening, the sharh of the sadr, the opening of the heart towards the truth, the acceptance of the truth, or the patience with the truth until it comes to you to where you wholeheartedly practice it with sakina and tranquility. If there is not that opportunity to one voluntarily learns about Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, there will be trials and tribulations in the foundation of your faith. So when we see in this beautiful month of Rajab, the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, as Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has magnified it and said it's a beautiful month, we should know that it is just generically doing the actions of khair is that which is good. Nothing in specific has been authentically legislated by the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. But we see within the wisdom of Allah that with the months it prepares you to meet Him ultimately. But behind the names of these months has a significance in it. And there's a beautiful reminder for us in regards to the following month, the month of Sha'ban. Because you see, this month of Rajab is a holy month from the 4 months. Then we have Sha'ban, and we have Ramadan, which is a month that we know is a month of fasting. The Prophet ﷺ mentioned regarding Sha'ban that this is a month يَغْفُلُ عَنْهُ كَثِيرٌ مِنَ النَّاسِ. He said people are very negligent of the month of Sha'ban because the month of Rajab is well known, and then the month of Ramadan. So they're negligent. So the Prophet ﷺ used to fast plentifully in this month. He also mentioned the month of Muharram as well. But particularly the month of Sha'ban, as Aisha radiallahu anha said, that he used to fast the majority of this month, if not all of it. The scholars mention he used to fast the majority of this beautiful month. And this month of Rajab, brothers and sisters, make an effort to do actions of khair. Particularly in this month of Rajab, let's think about not preparing a week before Ramadan to be ready for Ramadan. Start now. Start now in doing the actions of khair, such as, if one did not fast on Mondays and Thursdays, try to start your fasting on Mondays and Thursdays. Or fast one day of the month. If you haven't made up your fasts from the last Ramadan, start now if you have not. Increase your reading of the Quran, or start with reading the Quran. Go to the index of the Quran and look at a theme, a subject matter that you like, and read 1 or 2 pages. Make a schedule for yourself. Plan for yourself to where this month of Ramadan will be the best month. Will be the best month that you have had. So let's let these beautiful signs of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that have been established in the Sharia particularly this month of Rajab, to be a month of action or to serve as a catalyst for a new beginning where that blessed month of Ramadan will come. And we will see and understand in our minds, our bodies, and particularly our hearts, that this Islam is a great, magnificent religion and way of life for us to practice. Because when we practice it, the more you practice it, the more you feel this tranquility in your heart, with the reality that you will make mistakes. When we learn more about Al-Ghafur, and He is the all-forgiving, Al-Hakim, and He is the all-wise, Al-Alim, that He is the all-knowledgeable, learning more about these beautiful names and attributes creates a stronger relation with your Creator. And ultimately, that is why we were here, to establish that strong relationship with our Creator. So I say for all of us, for those that may have some discontentment in our hearts, make that effort. Keep making the effort. Put your hands up to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala as we do in our prayers, as we will now. Ihdina sirat al-mustaqim. Think about that. Guide us to the straight path. Guide me. Ila sirat wa fi sirat. Guide me to the straight path. And while I am in this straight path, keep me steadfast in it. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala make us people of integrity. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala make us people of love, of honor of Him, and of what He has brought from us from the Sharia. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala make us of those that make ta'aleem, that magnify the beautiful deen of Islam, that magnify the beautiful sunnah of the Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala make us of those that recognize this beautiful month as a month that is from the prohibited month of doing anything illicit or impermissible. So when we remember that, it encourages us and makes us of those that perform the actions of khair. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala make us of those that open the book of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the Quran, and increase our reading and ponderings over those beautiful, beautiful words from ayat. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala make us of those that increase in our salawat in this beautiful month as a catalyst to serve in this beautiful month of Ramadan. ربنا آتنا في الدنيا حسنة وفي الآخرة حسنة وقنا عذاب النار. ربنا لا تزغ قلوبنا بعد إذ هديتنا وهب لنا من لدنك رحمة إنك أنت الوهاب. اللهم انصر الإسلام والمسلمين، اللهم انصر الإسلام والمسلمين، اللهم انصر المستضعفين في كل مكان وزمان يا رب العالمين. ومتعنا بأسمائنا وأبصارنا وقوتنا أبدا ما أحييتنا، واجعل ثأرنا على من ظلمنا، وانصرنا على من عادانا، ولا تجعل الدنيا أكبر همنا ولا مبلغ علمنا. يا أيها المؤمنون إن الله يأمر بالعدل والإحسان وإيتاء ذي القربى وينهى عن الفحشاء والمنكر والبغي يعظكم لعلكم تذكرون. فاذكروا الله يذكركم. Remember Allah, He will remember you. واشكروه على نعمه يزدكم. And be thankful to Him, He will increase you. ولذكر الله أكبر. And the remembrance of Allah is the greatest thing. والله يعلم ما تصنعون. And He is well aware of what you do. وأقيموا الصلاة.